People were camping for some of this merch. I didn't know that if you put it in the wash like a normal piece of clothing, it will fade dramatically. Planning is good. Hello and welcome to my channel. So today's video, it's a Taylor Swift one, obviously, and we're going to be talking about things I wish I knew before I went to the Eras Tour. If you didn't know, I went to the Eras Tour MetLife Night 3, so went back in May 2023. Now obviously, as you can hear from the accent, I am from the UK. We decided very last minute, like relatively last minute, my mum and I, that we were going to go to the Eras Tour, that we were going to fly to America to do this. We've never flown to America just for a concert before. We've never, even for Taylor, like we've never done this before. It was truly like an incredible experience. I feel very lucky that we did that. Like, it was fantastic. I've done vlogs on it if you want to check it out, but yeah, it's such a special thing for me and for my mum. Like, we really love Taylor together. We love going to Taylor concerts together. So yeah, it was really special. It was just a really fantastic experience. But because we didn't decide we were going until like later on and stuff, I didn't do as much research as I probably maybe would have done if it was in the UK and stuff, because I was kind of like, oh, it'll be fine, even though like it was obviously slightly different in the US to the UK and stuff. But yeah, here are some of the things that I wish I knew before I went. Now some of these things I kind of knew but kind of just pretended to, like, I just kind of ignored, so that's on me. But yeah, hopefully some of these tips help you if you are going to the Eras Tour in 2024. So first up, let's talk about merch. I feel like merch for the Eras Tour, it went very, very viral on TikTok for a reason. The merch is really cute. There are many different things we need to talk about when it comes to merch. First up, let's talk about merch queues. So if you didn't see, some people were queuing. Like camping queuing. Not just queuing like you normally queue for merch, no, people were camping for some of this merch. So if you didn't know, some of the Taylor Swift Eras Tour merch is actually on her online store. You can get quite a lot of it on her online store, but some of it is exclusive to the tour. Some of it is very, very similar on the online store. So say they have an Eras Tour top with the colour photo on, but then at the tour it just has like the black and white photo on essentially. So it's very similar. The things that people really, really liked were that navy blue crew neck and the quarter zip. So when we went to MetLife Night 3. What I didn't know, or I kind of did know but just thought maybe they wouldn't do it this time, is that they don't restock the merch for the city. So essentially, if you go to night 1, you are more likely to get the merch than you are if you go to night 3 of that city. So I didn't really know this, like, I didn't know that they were like strict on this, because I didn't realise that merch would sell out like this, because when I've been to Taylor Swift concerts in the past, or any concert for that matter, like merch hasn't sold out this quickly, but it does. So because we went on MetLife Night 3, a lot of the stuff in a lot of the sizes had sold out, and even though that was the case, there were still huge queues. So we queued for about 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours for merch, and we didn't like get there late or anything, but we queued 2 hours for merch. I wish I kind of realised how big the merch queue was gonna get, because it was out in the sun as well. So do be aware that if you are queuing, it's summertime and you're out in the sun, make sure you like have a hat, get some shade, that sort of thing, because it can get really warm. Make sure you have like water and stuff. But yeah, the queues in the merch stand were big. I'm still very surprised at like that it was 2 hours, but yeah, it was 2 hours. And then they didn't have a lot of the stuff we wanted. So they didn't have the navy blue crew neck. They did have the quarter zip, but they didn't have it as many sizes. So I got one for my sister, but I didn't get one for myself because they didn't have it in a smaller size. Whereas I would have preferred it in a small size rather than it being oversized, because I just kind of prefer like more fitted merch. But yeah, some of the stuff had sold out. The tote bags had sold out. Now what I didn't know is that in New Jersey, plastic bags are illegal. So they couldn't even give us like a plastic bag to hold the merch, so we had nothing to hold the merch, so we just kind of had to hold it. I wish I'd known that. I wish I'd known that before. I think in the UK it may be slightly different, because plastic bags are technically still allowed in the UK at the moment. But do be aware that they could sell out of bags and then run out of bags, and then you have nothing to hold your merch with. What I would recommend to do is bring your own bag, like bring your own little plastic bag. So obviously you can bring a bag into the stadium, make sure you check in the stadium like what the kind of requirements are in terms of the size of the bag. But yeah, bring your own little plastic bag, shove it in your bag, because it will just make all the difference when it comes to your merch and protecting your merch, especially if you buy CDs. We bought the late night edition CD, so it was It was hard without a bag. Thankfully, an absolute angel of a person saw us struggling and gave us one of her bags. She had been to a previous date on the tour and had the Eras Tour clear bag. She had 2 of them and she was like, oh my gosh, no, let me just swap my merch into one, and gave it us. So, absolute angel. If this person ever sees my videos, we owe you our lives. Like, honestly, like, you were fantastic. I genuinely, the kindness of strangers is, we love strangers. Strangers are great. So yeah, that person was very, very kind, and we're very, very appreciative that they did that, because like, honestly, like, we were struggling. My mum and I, we were struggling. Now with merch, a lot of venues are actually cashless, so you have to pay in your card, so you can pay on your phone, you can pay on the actual physical card. Do be aware that like cash usually for most stadiums, obviously it does vary, it's not accepted. So make sure you need to carry much cash. However, there are usually kind of like, you know, they like knock off merch outside and they usually take cash. I would rather pay like cash with them than my card. So maybe have a little bit of cash for that, or like a taxi if you're planning to get a taxi or anything. But yeah, do be careful when it comes to that. Next up with merch. I didn't know that if you put it in the wash like a normal piece of clothing, it will fade dramatically. So the Eras Tour merch wasn't the best quality Taylor merch there have been. Like, compared to the Reputation tour, it was not great. So the merch itself was like, physically it was fine. It was the actual print and the graphics on it and stuff. If you put it in a normal wash, the black like ink in it would just come off. So a tip on how to avoid that happening is basically get some kind of baking paper, greaseproof paper, whatever you want to call it, get it, iron it, and then put it on a cold wash, and hopefully that should make it okay. Like, put it cold, gentle wash. You don't want it to be too intense, and don't put it in the dryer or anything, and then just hang it out to dry. It's very, very annoying that you can't just wash it like a normal t-shirt. Like, all my other Taylor t-shirts have been fine. This is the only like merch that I've ever had that I've had an issue with like this. But yes, I had an issue, but then when we did this method, it did protect the merch a little bit better, so it has lasted longer. But yeah, that is something you want to be aware of, because you don't want to spend all this money on merch and then be like, oops, it now looks nothing like it did when I first bought it. Also, when it comes to merch, concert merch can be expensive. Set yourself a budget. You don't want to get to the concert and see all this merch and think, oh my gosh, I want everything, I need everything, and then you buy a load of stuff and you never use it. Make sure you know what you want in advance. There are lots of places where you can see like a full list of everything, all of the merch that will be available. I wouldn't get my heart set really on one item, especially if I know it's like a really limited one, like, or a rare one or more in demand one, like the navy blue crew neck or the quarter zip, because then you can be maybe a little bit disappointed if you can't get it. But definitely set yourself like a list of items that you do want and a list of items you don't need. Do you need an Eras Tour tapestry? Maybe. I got it, but like, you might not have any kind of need for it, so like, just set yourself a budget in mind, just so you don't go over that, just to be careful. Just be careful with merch. It's very easy. I think whenever we go to a concert, especially my sister and I, we go to a concert, we see merch, we're like, ooh, like, think, of all the concert t-shirts you wear, do you actually wear them? Like, do you just wear them to bed? Are these just really expensive pajamas? For me, I do wear concert merch, but I know because the Eras Tour merch has her face kind of all over it, some people don't wear it outside. So yeah, just kind of have a think whether or not you need it. But again, I'm not going to tell you not to do it, because I am somebody who buys concert merch and enjoys concert merch. So you do whatever you want to do. I won't judge. I will support you, but also be sensible. Be sensible. Okay, next thing I wish I knew before I went to the Eras Tour. Find out, especially if you're in a new city, how to get to and from the concert. You cannot guarantee that Ubers will be running and stuff. You cannot guarantee you'll be able to book an Uber, especially after the concert, because of how busy it will be. A lot of the time, stadiums are like a little bit outside of the city, so Ubers are very expensive getting there, and then to get them back, it's very difficult. You can try pre-book them, but honestly, I would still be kind of wary pre-booking Ubers, because I've heard a lot of stories where people pre-book their Ubers and they cancel on them last minute, so be careful. What I would do is check the public transportation to see how you're going to get back. Usually there's like buses, sometimes they do specific ones for concerts and stuff, because a lot of the time like stadiums, like football stadiums, so they know how to get a lot of fans in and out. With the UK, with Wembley, it's a tube, it's the train, the underground, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's very, very busy after a concert. You will have seen the videos from Harry Styles. It's very busy. I'm not going to lie to you all, but it's obviously far easier to stay in actual central London, especially if you're visiting the city from somewhere else or from abroad. It's definitely easier to stay in central London rather than near Wembley. Most of the hotels near Wembley are really expensive for like when concerts are on, and they are also usually sold out when concerts are on. So I would definitely stay in central London if you're going to any of the Wembley shows, but do be aware that it's a bit of a nightmare getting back, but you will get back. The tubes run, they make sure like people get home and stuff, but it's hectic. I'm not gonna lie to you all, it's a hectic thing going to Wembley after a concert. So top tip, if you want to avoid that, if you're someone who absolutely hates crowds and you don't mind missing the bows at the end of the show, leave maybe in the bridge or the last chorus of Karma. I know a lot of people don't want to do that, they want to have the whole show, and that's completely fine. Like, I know some people are like, absolutely not. But if you're somebody who genuinely just hates crowds, you can't stand them, and you just want to like get back home earlier, honestly, you save so much time by just missing like 3 minutes of a song. You save like a ridiculous amount of time. But again, that's not for every single person. Not everyone wants to do that, especially it will be difficult if you're in the floor near the front, near the actual like stage, because obviously it's harder to get through all the people. But yeah, it definitely saves you a lot of time, especially if you're doing public transportation. But yeah, have a look for the city you're going to and see how you're going to get to and from the stadium. It's obviously easier I think to get to the stadium than from, because people are kind of going at different times, whereas when they're leaving, everyone goes at the same time. So be careful, be safe, make sure you know what you're doing, don't get lost, just make sure you have a plan, and make sure you also have a backup plan as well, so you get split from your party. Have a meeting spot where you guys agree to meet, because signal at stadiums is not always the best, it's usually pretty poor, so always have a backup plan, always have a plan B, just so you don't get lost from your friends and you all get back to your hotel or wherever you're staying safely. I underestimated how long a 3-hour show was. I underestimated, like, I think you're just like, oh yeah, it's only 3 hours, you know, I can do that, but also like, sometimes you need to like get like more water, get food, like go to the toilet and stuff. Please do that. Do not like exhaust yourself for a concert. I know like you want to be as close as possible and stuff, you want to watch the whole show, but honestly, like, please look after yourself, because you don't want to get to the end of the show and you're just completely done and then you just are ill for like a whole week or something. Like, oh, you don't want to even not make it to the end of the show because you've like fainted or something. Please, please, please look after yourself when it comes to concerts. 3 hours is a long time to be standing up, especially in a general admission area when it is warm, because it'll be summer and stuff. So please, please, please look after yourself. I know it can just be so easy to kind of get lost in the moment, but please, 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 please look after yourself. If you need to leave the thing for any reason, if you make friends with the people around you, this is for the floor area, the people will like let you out and save your spot for you to come back, because people don't want people to pass out. Like, we want everyone to be safe and happy at the Eras Tour, so do be careful. Also, don't like push loads around the people around you. A lot of people have anxiety and stuff. Like, just be nice. I know like when Taylor comes to the stage you want like the best video, but like please, 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 please be careful. Anyway, that wasn't the point I was making on this bit. The point I was making for this bit is plan your pee break. Tactically plan it in advance. Plan the song you don't mind missing a little bit of. Usually the queues for the toilets, there is like no queue, so if you could just kind of run up the stairs and then run straight back down, you don't miss too much of the song. Now, confession time, I had to have a pee break. Look, I was on holiday, I was jet lagged, I needed it. Don't cancel me, I needed to pee. If that's a crime, arrest me. I don't think it is. Anyway, I went during All Too Well, the 10-minute version. I love All Too Well, I have seen Taylor perform All Too Well before, like live. I thought like this is the song that is the longest song, so I wouldn't miss the entire song, say if there was a queue. So I stayed for like the first bit of like my favourite bit, and then I quickly ran out, and then I was back before the end, and I still got to see like most of the song. Like, because it's that 10-minute one, you get the most time to pee. Just if you're curious. Now, if there's a particular song you don't like, I just plan it in advance. I wouldn't go during the Lover set. I think the Lover set is too early on in the show. I know some people are like, oh, I'll go do the Archer, but the Archer's like straight away, so like just go before Taylor comes on stage. Once the opening act ended for the Eras Tour, when I went to MetLife Night 3, it was Phoebe, she ended at 7:45. There was 15 minutes before Taylor came on, and the queues can be quite big just as soon as the like opening act has ended. So what you're going to want to do is maybe find out the opening act set list and go a couple songs before they finish, because there is going to be less people in the queue. You're less likely to miss the very start of the show, because you don't want to miss that countdown. Honestly, the feeling when that countdown comes on is the most surreal feeling ever, and it's probably the loudest I've heard people scream in my entire life. It was so surreal, you really don't want to miss that, so make sure you're there for that. That is why I would leave then. The chances are Paramore is going to do a similar thing, so they'll be on 7 till 7:45, I imagine, Taylor coming in at 8, but again, we don't know for defo, that's just kind of like a theory. But yes, plan in advance, plan when you're gonna like get water and stuff, because you don't want to like really need like to get some water and it's during your favorite set, and or it's during the 1989 set and you don't want to miss the surprise songs or something. Like, just plan in advance, and you prepare yourself. Just prepare yourself. Plan. I think that is the main thing here, is plan. Planning is good. Dressing up. What I wish I knew before I went to the Eras Tour is people will dress up, but not everyone will. So I am somebody who has dressed up for Taylor concerts when I've been to them. So when I went to the Red Tour, when I went to the Red Tour, I wore a Junior Jules shirt. I made a little Junior Jules shirt. and it's really cute. And then for the Reputation tour, I dressed up in sparkly in 1989. Well, for 1989, I knew I was meeting Taylor the day before, so I swapped the outfit I was going to wear. I was going to wear a tutu, but I swapped it last minute because I didn't want to meet Taylor in a tutu. So I did swap that, but yes. People will dress up. People will dress up as different eras. They'll dress up as different, like, Taylor in music videos and stuff. Lots of people have really, really creative ideas as well. Like, there's some really fantastic ones as well. If you're looking for any ideas, check Pinterest and stuff. People do fantastic jobs. Also, plan your outfit in advance. If you want to make your outfit and stuff, you don't want to end up that you've got to the day before and you're like, oh no, I don't have enough time to do it, or like, oh, it doesn't fit, I can't change it, it's too late to change it. You don't want to put all that effort in for it not to, like, work out in the end. So make sure you do it in advance, plan in advance. That is the thing. It's a recurring theme, plan. But yeah, that's definitely something you want to do. But also, you don't have to dress up. I get comments all the time on TikTok like, do I have to dress up for the Eras tour? No. This is not a black tie event. You don't have to dress up. Like, if you just want to wear a t-shirt and jeans, wear a t-shirt and jeans. If you want to wear whatever you want, as long as it's not, like, offensive, wear whatever you want. Like, you want to be comfortable. Again, it's a 3-hour show. It's a long show. You want to be comfortable. You don't want to be wearing, like, stilettos. I would always recommend flat trainers that you have worn in, that you are comfortable in. Don't wear shoes you are not comfortable in because it will hurt. So wear things that you like. If you need to sit down, if you're in the stands and you need to sit down, you can sit down during the concert. You don't have to stand up the entire time as well. Like, the main thing is here to have a good time. You don't want to make yourself uncomfortable just trying to, like, fit in. You don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to make friendship bracelets if you don't want to. Lots of people don't do that. Lots of people do. Like, it just depends what you want to do. You don't have to do these things, even if it's a trend online. If it's not something you're comfortable with, you don't have to do it. You know, people aren't going to think of you as a fake fan. And if they do, they're weird. Like, why would you think of someone being a fake fan just because they want to be comfortable during a show? They want to wear something that they like. Wear whatever you want. As long as it's not offensive, as long as it doesn't have Kanye West on, like, wear whatever you want that makes you feel comfortable and good about yourself. Don't pressure yourself. But also, if you want to wear, like, a really cool outfit, people wear, like, ball gowns to Taylor Swift shows. Like, people wear all sorts. Make sure it doesn't obstruct the view with the people behind you, but honestly, wear whatever you want to wear. If you're wearing, like, head to toe, like, sparkly things, you're sequined, you're dressing up as Taylor from, like, the Look What You Made Me Do video, go for it. Nobody is going to stop you from dressing up as long as it doesn't disrupt anyone or anything. So yeah, go for it. Lots of people dress up. You will not stick out like a sore thumb. I know in the past maybe you might have done a little bit more because people didn't dress up as much, but people, to be honest, have dressed up for Taylor shows for a long time. So yeah, you won't look out of place, you won't feel out of place. Like, at the end of the day, you just want to be comfortable. Wear what you're comfortable in, wear what you're happy in, wear what makes you feel good. If you want to wear, like, head to toe, like, mirror ball outfit, go for it. If you want to wear all black, go for it. Wear whatever makes you comfortable. You will not be judged. And if you are judged, it says a lot more about them than it ever does about you. Bags. Okay, let's talk about, like, the restrictions and stuff. So restrictions vary for stadium. I wish when we got to MetLife that I'd checked more about the bag policy. Not because I brought the wrong bag. I knew it had to be a clear bag, but I brought the teeniest, tiniest clear bag in the entire world that hardly fit my phone in. Like, it was not a great bag. And I bought it because I was like, oh, I need a tiny bag. Like, just check the requirements, because there were people there with, like, bags like triple the size of mine. So check the requirements. As long as it fits within the requirements, you can bring it in. It varies, again, per stadium. In the UK at the moment, you don't have to have a clear bag, but they can change that policy at any time. But usually it is a small bag that you're allowed, and usually not allowed a backpack. So just make sure that you follow those restrictions and check the restrictions in terms of fairy lights, if you're going to put fairy lights in your outfits, or signs if you're planning to bring a sign. If you are planning to bring a sign, do not hold it up throughout the entire show. Taylor really doesn't acknowledge the signs from stage, so there's not really any point of doing this. I would only really use a sign for kind of pictures and stuff, because she doesn't acknowledge the signs from the stage. If you are thinking about throwing anything on the stage, do not. That is a massive no-no, because the Eras tour is very, very complex. The stage moves about a lot. It's a very, like, technical thing. There are also a lot of dancers, and Taylor herself has said that it makes her uncomfortable when people do this. So make sure you don't do that as well. Also, restrictions, there are usually age restrictions. Check them on the website for the stadium you're going to. If you literally just search, like, Wembley Stadium FAQs, Wembley Stadium, like, Eras tour FAQs, a lot of websites have a specific page for the Eras tour. Then you can kind of see, like, oh, you know, I can do this, I can't bring that, or, oh, I have to be a certain age to be there. If you have discovered that you have bought tickets for the general admission area and you have a 5-year-old with you, contact the stadium, because usually they have an age restriction for the general admission floor. It's usually around 14 plus, but again, it can vary. So please just do check. And if you have any questions, there are customer service, like, numbers that you can call, or you can email to kind of find out what you can do if you bought, like, the wrong ticket. And yeah, I think they are just some of the things that I wish I'd known before I went to the Eras Tour. I hope this video helps you. If it did, let me know in the comments. And obviously, if you have any tips for other people going to the Eras Tour, put them in the comments as well. We want to support everyone here to make sure everyone can have the best possible time at the Eras Tour. Yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, more Eras Tour videos, make sure to check out my TikTok, but also let me know in the comments what kind of Taylor Swift videos or other videos you want to see. That would be really, really fantastic. Thank you again so much for watching. I've also set up YouTube members if you want to check that out and support the channel a little bit more. That would be in the absolute world. And as always, have a great day.